I just talked to the camera for like 4 minutes without it being filming. Hi, this is Kyra for Liquor and Literature, and today I'm going to be talking about John Green's novel Looking for Alaska, and also a little bit about the manic pixie dream girl. Yay! So I think that I kind of started at the wrong end of the John Green spectrum, because I started reading John Green with The Fault in Our Stars, which is his newest novel and probably his best. I mean, I haven't quite read all of his. I think I only have Paper Towns left, but of the three that I've read, Fault in Our Stars is by far and above the best of his works. I read Abundance of Catherine's. I liked, it was funny, but the narrator largely annoyed me, and his attitude towards his girlfriends and towards Lindsay and towards women in general, and like the way he saw his relationships annoyed me. And I found the same thing happening again in Looking for Alaska. The narrator, Pudge, is, I think, probably a pretty good representation of the typical adolescent boy. I think his narrative voice is probably quite true. I myself was never an adolescent boy, so I can't exactly speak to whether or not that is 100% accurate to what adolescent boys feel and go through and how they relate to women. But as a woman reading this novel, I did not like him at all. I found the way that he thought about women to be just gross. Probably fairly typical, but gross. And his attitude towards Alaska, I just did not like at all. I mean, there was some really funny bits. When Takumi puts on his fox hat and says that no one can catch the motherfucking fox. I did enjoy a lot of it, and it did make me laugh out loud a couple times. And I didn't like the character of Alaska herself, because she was a total manic pixie dream girl. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure even if you haven't heard the term before, you know who a manic pixie dream girl is. So, manic pixie dream girl was coined by film critic Nathan Rabin in 2005 after seeing the film Elizabethtown with Kristen Dunst, and he called her that shallow, bubbly, cinematic creature that exists solely in the favored imaginations of sensitive writer-directors to teach broodingly soulful young men to embrace life and its infinite mysteries and adventures. Which, you see that type of character a lot. She's the girl who, like, drinks with the boys and has, like, really weird personality quirks, but everyone loves her, and she's, like, kind of crazy and wild. A lot of the fucking time she dies. Exhibit. Alaska. She's got all these books in her room that she doesn't read because she'd rather be off smoking. She chain smokes, she is like badass, she sneaks off campus, she drinks, she's almost gotten expelled. She's got all these like mysteries in her past and things that she won't talk about and blah 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 blah. And yeah, I found her a very flat character in that way, and I found that the way Pudge reacted to her to be very typical or like insulting. At different parts of the book, he talks about how angry he is with her and how frustrated he is with her for being so mysterious. Like, this guy is reacting to this girl having bits of herself that she doesn't want to talk about, or having genuine emotions and feelings, with anger. Like, at one point, Alaska's clearly having a bad day or whatever, she's pissed off, and Pudge comes up to her and wants to talk to her, and she's like, basically says fuck off and walks away. And then he talks about how pissed off he is at her and how he doesn't get her and all this stuff. Which, like, fine, fair enough. Like, she's kind of acting bitchy. But, like, is that really the most appropriate reaction to a friend of yours having a bad day? Like, if one of my friends was having a bad day and was acting all pissy and stuff, I'd just leave them alone. I wouldn't be angry at them because they're having a bad day. Like, that just shows the way that he expects women to react in terms of his agenda and what he thinks they should act, and not in terms of how people actually exist, having their own lives and feelings and reactions to situations. So Pudge, beyond his relationship with Alaska, I just found him very exasperating as a narrator because I found him very immature. Which, I mean, on the one hand, like, I'm having trouble with this because on the one hand he is an adolescent narrator, he is a teenage boy, so his views and perspective on the world are understandably immature and shaped by what his experience in the world so far has been, which has involved very little interaction with his peers and a lot more interaction with just like his parents and reading books. So his worldview is understandably narrow and probably shaped a lot by all these old dead white guys whose last words he's memorized. But on the other hand, like, I'm just getting so tired of reading this male narrator who just sits there and is like, well, I'm misunderstood, my friends don't get, like, my peers don't get me, my parents don't get me, like, I have this zany quirk, which for Pudge is memorizing the last words of all these famous dead people, and he's just in love with this girl that he can't get, who doesn't love him back, and he's oblivious to the emotions and feelings of other people, like Laura, who he's such an asshole to, like, unbelievably dickish. It's amazing because Fault in Our Stars has a female narrator, and she is so well written, and she's, like, such a complex and interesting character, and I love her to bits. Hazel is just like I loved The Fault in Our Stars, and these two are just kind of like, meh. Like, there's some really good quotes in them. Like, there's some quotes in them that get bandied around the internet a lot. From looking for Alaska, I know there's the one about if people were weather, she was a hurricane and I was a drizzle, which is pretty solid. So what I'm wondering is, like, do you guys think that authors should write characters who are realistic, like Pudge is, but who are so frustrating in their inability to empathize with others? So that's a question I'm going to leave with you guys with. Melissa will be back on Friday with her video, and yeah, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, whatever. Let me know what you think about characterization in YA novels, because I don't have an answer. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!